Hi, fans of high-quality entertainment. Before I begin this subject matter of double albums, I just wanted to say I'm going to be turning 68 years old in a couple of weeks, February 28th, and I don't want anything. I don't want anything for my birthday, except for you to become a member of my channel. Thank you. Okay, so last night I was listening to The Clash's Sandinista, 3 albums, CD and vinyl. And I think I might make a separate video on that at some point. Again, I might have talked about it in the past, but just kind of an updated review. But anyway, that got me thinking that it's been a while since I've done a ranking of all of the double albums I have in my collection. And this is excluding live albums, although there are, when it comes to a certain artist, it's some live and some studio. So the albums I'm going to be ranking include, and I just recently got this, the Rolling Stones' Exile on Main Street, Canned Heat, Living the Blues. I know that feeling. And as always, please remember to like the video and leave a comment below after you watch the video. John and Yoko's Sometime in New York City, Pink Floyd, The Wall, The Rascals, Freedom Suite, Captain Beefheart and the Magic Band Trout Mask Replica, Joe's Garage, Acts 1, 2, and 3. So some of these are, more than doubles. They're 3 albums, like Joe's Garage. Although it was originally, of course, released as a single, and then parts 2 and 3. Yes, Tales from Topographic Oceans. Bee Gees, Odessa. I don't even have to say what this is. George Harrison, All Things Must Pass. And I just posted, so this goes out to my members today. And so it'll be posted tomorrow. Today's video, which my members have already seen, is I've reviewed George Harrison's Living in the Material World. So check that out if you haven't seen it. Another Frank Zappa, You Are What You Is. But the thing is with Frank Zappa is sometimes even his studio albums have a mixture of live and studio, right? So I've only selected like 3 or 4 of his albums. So including You Are What You Is, and The Mothers of Invention, of course, Uncle Meat, Frank Zappa, Can, Tago Mago, or Tago Mago, however you want to pronounce it. ELO, Out of the Blue. Donovan, A Gift from a Flower to a Garden. Genesis, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. Nectar, Sounds Like This. Now it's a double album, but it was recorded live, but it's like a studio album. It doesn't say live or anything, so I'm taking it as a studio album. Jimi Hendrix Experience, Electric Ladyland. Led Zeppelin, Physical Graffiti. These are going to be hard to rank. I don't know why I do this. Stress myself out. Yoko Ono, Approximately Infinite Universe. The Who, Quadrophenia. The Who, Tommy. Yoko Ono, Fly. And The Clash, Sandinista, 3-album set. So I will be back in a few minutes, or maybe 2 hours. I'm going to rank them from my least favorite to my favorite. I'll be back. Well, that took about 5 minutes, and I only cried twice. I told you it's stressful. So before I show the ranking, please remember, this is my own personal opinion. You can have your own personal opinion on music. It doesn't matter. I think all of us that talk about music, right, will have somebody comment and disagree with us on our choices. It's like, if you're not me, you might have a different opinion, right? Everybody has different opinions on music. You're not going to like the way I rank everything here, but it's my choice. Just let me know. The idea is for you to let me know how you would rank them without, bashing me or whoever else has a different opinion than you. 20 years of this, people. 20 years. Here we go. So number at the bottom, not that it's bad, but I just haven't played it enough. And also, it contains, on one of the sides, it contains a drum solo, which a studio drum solo usually isn't fun to listen to. So at the bottom is the Rascals' Freedom Suite, but a great band. Now, some of you will be shocked. You won't be happy, but it's my opinion. And it's just, I do like the album, but it's just not one of my favorite Pink Floyd albums. The Wall is at number 24. Number 23, once again, I've only played this once, but I did really enjoy it. I just need to listen to it more. That's why, in time it might go up in my rankings. Bee Gees, Odessa. 3. Number 22, I love this band, but probably one of my least favorite. Not that it's bad. None of these are bad. But I would just prefer to listen to something else by them. So it is Nectar, Sounds Like This. It's pretty heavy. I do enjoy it, but not as much as some other albums of theirs. Number 21. When I first bought this on vinyl, I loved it. But through the years, I don't play it much anymore, and I did play it fairly recently, and I don't know, it's good, but it's not one of my favorites. Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention, Uncle Meat. Focus. Number 20, love this band. The first disc is excellent, I love it. It's just the second disc, which is one song, parts 1 and 2, and it's a little bit too much refried boogie for me. I'm talking about Canned Heat and Living the Blues. I keep losing track of where I'm at here, so I'm not going to worry about it. But these are in order, from my least favorite to favorite. Next up is Frank Zappa, You Are What You Is. I don't play this very much, but when it came out on vinyl, I played it a lot. So I know the album very, very well, and I do love it. Next up, and I've always understood, I always will, that a lot of people are not fans of this artist, but I am, and so are other people, believe it or not. You don't have to be into her music. I get it. I understand. But that being said, some of you that, complain about her have probably never heard her song-based albums, which I think are excellent. Now this one, there's one higher ranked. I love most of the songs on this. It's just the title track, Fly, which maybe I need to listen to it more, but it's, very experimental, so not one of my favorites. But overall, I really do love Yoko Ono's Fly. That sounds weird. Next up, it's Yoko Ono again, but this time with John Lennon. And this is the original. I do prefer the new remix much more. But this is Sometime in New York City. And my favorite songs on it are actually Yoko Ono's, especially We're All Water and Sister Sister. But, I love John's songs too. 17. Number 16, I counted. Now this, I think, for most classic rock fans would be higher up in the rankings. And I do like it. It's just not my favorite of this band's. I have other albums I love more, but it's still great. The Who, Quadrophenia. And once again, I talk about this with George Harrison and some other albums. Back in 1973, when that album came out, I didn't have the money to buy it, or I probably would have. One of my older brothers bought it. So I didn't really grow up with, unlike Tommy, which I was able to play because it was my other brother's album and I could play his albums. I couldn't play my other brother's albums, which included Quadrophenia. So I just didn't have the early connection to this, like I did with Tommy, for instance. But I still think it's a great album. Next up, Genesis, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. Over time, I've always liked the album, but now I kind of love it, even though I recently sold the box set to my buddy Robert's on my turntable. I'm happy with this. But it's a great album. Next, so all of these, I would say all of these coming up are 10 out of 10 albums. ELO, Out of the Blue, great album. Oh no, it's the dreaded Yoko Ono again. Once again, now this one doesn't have the experimental stuff that Fly does. It is all song-based. There's very little of her screaming or whatever you want to call it. So if you haven't heard this album, maybe check it out. Approximately Infinite Universe. It's another album by The Who. The Who, Tommy. Love it. Ever since it was released. Yeah. So I played this hundreds of times in my life. Oh, we are one away from the top 10. So number 11. Now, I had this album before in my collection, and I would play it once in a while, and I liked it, but I never really totally warmed up to it. And then discovering some of their other albums were underrated, I feel. I bought this again and gave it another chance, and I've only played it twice since I bought it a couple of months ago, and I've just enjoyed it so much more. So, you never know, it might even go into the top 10 at some time. It's the Rolling Stones' Exile on Main Street. Okay, these are the top 10. Number 10. And my buddy Morse Gotro has this. I actually sent it to him. And I know that Robert's on my turntable has one of their albums, Monster Movie. This album isn't for everybody. Some of it is kind of normal. And some of it is the craziest stuff I've ever heard in my life. Very experimental, but I love it for its craziness. So it's Can and Tago Mago, or Tago Mago. The music within is very similar to this album cover. That's what your brain will look like after you listen to it. Number 9 is just as wacky. Once again, not for everybody. Captain Beefheart and the Magic Band Trout Mask Replica, which I sent to Morris Gaudreau. See, I give too. I don't just receive. Now, even a year ago, this wouldn't, I wouldn't have it. But I had heard it, in the past and just never connected with it. And then I've just become such a big fan of this band and their first 3 albums. And so this has really shot up in the rankings and might even move up further. With further plays, the Jimi Hendrix Experience, Electric Ladyland. Amazing album. All 3 of the albums with the Jimi Hendrix Experience are. I hope Scott from the Prague Corner isn't watching, because this album is not number 1, it's number 7. Yes, Tales from Topographic Oceans. If you haven't heard this before, I think it's a kind of a tough listen, because there's so much to take in on the first listen, second listen, even the third listen. But through the years, I just gradually liked it more and more, and then I loved it. Now, number 6. This was an artist a year ago. I kind of liked what I heard by him, but I never thought I would be a fan of his. And now I've got about 20 of his albums. And this was the album that really turned me into a fan. Donovan, A Gift from a Flower to a Garden. And I even have this limited edition of 500 numbered handmade box sets, individually hand-signed by Donovan. And I did do a video on this. Need to take a break. Let's go. I always imagine somebody watching my channel for the first time. What's wrong with that guy? Anyway, number 5. I will say, first it came out as a single, part 1, and I loved it. And then parts 2 and 3 came out as a double album, and it took me a while to get into it, because it's so much to take in once again. But now I love the whole album. I consider it, a 3-album set. It's Joe's Garage, Acts 1, 2, and 3. The top 4. I wonder what number 1 is. Number 4. Now, last night, when I listened to this album, it's 3 albums, and it is a lot to sit through. But when I listen to an album, I like to listen to the whole album, even if it's, a double or a triple. But sometimes I can't get to the end of the album because I'm just tired. It's not that I'm bored with it. It's, I listen to music at night. But back in 1980, when I first bought the album, I liked it, but it was just, once again, a lot to take in. 36 songs. But I've grown to absolutely love Sandinista by The Clash. And even, the last side, I used to think it was really padded, but it's, like dub mixes and everything. I just enjoy it more today than back in the 80s or 90s or 2000s. So, big fan of this album now. Number 3, a year ago, even though I had the album, I've had the album in the past, I don't think I would rate it that highly. If I was doing it would be near the bottom. But I've just grown to love this artist so much more than in the past. So number 3 now is George Harrison's All Things Must Pass. And I even love the apple jam. Who doesn't love apple jam? These two, I think, will always remain my favorite 2 double albums. Unless Sparks, that would be interesting, Sparks doing a double album. I'll ask Ron and Russell about that. But number 2 is Led Zeppelin's Physical Graffiti, and number 1 will always be the Beatles' White Album. And that is it. Let me know what are some of your all-time favorite studio double albums in the comments section below. And let me know if you're going to check out any of these albums that I was talking about. I love that when, my viewers do check out whoever I'm talking about, and sometimes, not always, sometimes they become a fan. That's it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.